Awesome. Thank you. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining Senior Day. So my name is Cynthia Garcia. I am one of the general counselors in the Menifee Valley campus, like Beth stated. I'm also one of the Puente counselors, and I'll definitely go into what that is in a second. So basically, we just have like a little quick presentation on what counseling department can do for you. I apologize. We have a lot of construction going on back in the background. So if you do hear it, I apologize. So I'm going to go ahead and let's just share my screen here. And let's see here. Let's put it over here.
I think we'll stay on mute for now, guys. I know you're multitasking and I appreciate your being here, but please unmute yourself towards the end and we'll make this real interactive, take questions, or you can type your questions in the chat and certainly use our reaction buttons. We're so glad Cynthia is here. You're going to get some fabulous information.
Yes, thank you. All right, so which are we seeing, the regular presentation or the one with the notes, Beth?
Oh, you're seeing the notes?
All right, let's do it this way then.
I think, yeah.
All right.
It looked fine though. Yeah.
Okay, we good with that? I mean, let me just actually.
I know, I like there's different views that I prefer as well.
Yep, there really is. So at least this way I can do it like so. Guys,
Valeria, your cat is so cute. Is that your cat, Valeria?
Okay, so let's see. Does it look like the regular presentation now?
Well, it has several boxes, yeah, so it's up to you. It's fine now. You can show, I think there was a adjustment at the top where, oh, it says display settings maybe.
That's weird. It should, why is it doing that today? Let's try it again. How about now?
It's the same. Or maybe those icons at the bottom below the first slide, either way.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and start this way then, because I'm not sure why it's doing that. So anyway, guys, once again, this is the counseling department. So I'm representing the counseling department today. Basically just kind of going over what the counseling department can do and why it's important for you guys to come see the counseling department. So first and foremost, I kind of wanted to share what your go-to website is to really come and see the MSJC counseling department. So it is going to be the msjc.edu hub website. That is your go-to website for everything. Okay, so it's really, really important that you bookmark that website. That's where you're going to go see all your support services, financial aid, counseling, enrollment services. Like this is going to be your best friend while you're here. Okay, so definitely, like I said, bookmark it, memorize it. That's like your buddy right there. Okay. I just kind of wanted to just show you guys a brief screenshot of the associates and certificates that we have. It's not all of them. So one thing I want to make sure that I put out there for all students, because there is this tendency to think that, oh, I don't see my major listed anywhere. It's okay if we do not have your major specifically listed. That's totally fine. We want to make sure that we look at the prerequisites and the transfer requirements that you need for the university you're trying to go to transfer to. So please don't feel like you can't come to MSJC if you don't see your major listed here. Okay. And then something very quickly to kind of go over any dual enrollment classes that you guys took, any AP exams that you took and got a 3, 4, or 5, so a passing grade, any concurrent enrollment classes you took. It's really important to be ready to give us that information when you're meeting with the counselor, because especially AP scores and dual enrollment, we want to make sure that you get credit for those particular tests that or the exams that you took. Same thing for IB exams. Okay, so as counselors, unfortunately, we can't read your beautiful minds. So we want to make sure that you guys open up to us when you're meeting with us, letting us know, hey, Cynthia, I took some AP exams and received a 3, 4, or 5. That way we have you get credit for those particular classes. And that way you're taking less classes. So keep that in mind. Like I said, some of you guys may have done dual enrollment or concurrent enrollment. So if you did do that, please let us know. That way we can go ahead and create your ed plan based off of that. One thing that's really important that you can do as an incoming freshman is attend one of our new student counseling sessions. So basically what that is a 2-hour session that basically goes over, just scratches the surface of what it is to be a college student. So we go over the classes you should be taking for your first semester. We go over what an educational goal and a major is. We go over how many units you need to transfer, what the requirements are to transfer to like a UC or a Cal State or a private school. We also show you how to register, like physically register for classes. So if you go to the MSJC website under counseling, you can see the different offerings for our new student counseling sessions. They are already happening because it gets very, very busy during the summer as many of you are graduating. So please be aware that you can go ahead and sign up for a new student counseling session now. And that way just kind of get your feet wet as to what it is to be in your first semester at MSJC. Like I said, we definitely kind of just go over a little bit everything, how to register, what it is to be a first semester student. We go over a list of classes for you. We also go over kind of just like the basics of financial aid, how to make appointments, what your 2 years or what your first semester kind of looks like and what your 2 years could look like, the importance of passing grades, all that fun stuff. So definitely take a look at attending one of the new student counseling sessions. You're going to be a little bit more ready for your first semester if you do that, than kind of just trying to go in blindly without no idea how to register and no idea what is being offered for your first semester. Okay, so definitely look at doing one of those. This is really important, steps on making an appointment, especially through the hub. So remember the hub, msjc.edu/hub, that is your go-to link. But they will, you can pick the time, you can pick the format of your appointment. We can do it here in person, or you can do it online, or you can do it by phone. So there's a plethora of different ways that you guys can meet with us. You can also pick the day, pick the time. So, please be mindful that we are here to support you, to be available to you and your specific needs as far as scheduling is concerned. There's a couple of different ways to get a hold of us. As you can see there, we have our phone number, we have the email, but to be honest with you, the fastest way to get a hold of us is to use one of our other offerings to speak with the counselor. So if you're trying to make a counseling appointment, like an actual appointment, and I'll go over what the offerings of appointments are in a second, but to make a physical appointment, those are the steps. If you have a quick question, which many of you will have undoubtedly throughout the semester, if you're just like, hey, I don't know what petition to submit for this, let me go ask a counselor. Or, I don't know how to, I'm thinking about dropping a class. Let me go ask a counselor real quick what the repercussions are, what I should do as far as dropping that. Those are quick questions. And we also have a 10 to 15 minute walk-in quick question appointment. Once again, you can meet with us in person, or you can come into our virtual lobby. And those are the 10-15 minute appointments, appointments that you can come see us. And then you obviously have the email account as well as the phone number. Now, mind you, I would probably, if I do have a quick question, I would just come into the virtual lobby, because the email and the phone number sometimes, especially the email, it can take a minute for you to get a response because we get lots of emails. So like I said, if you have a very quick question that you think we can just go ahead and answer in a 10-15 minute time frame, just go ahead and jump into our virtual lobby. The way you find the virtual lobby is by going through the hub, and I'll show you guys in a second how to do all these fun little things. one of the most important things that counseling can offer you is an education plan. Okay, so it is an important part of your whole time here and your success at MSJC. So what is an educational plan? When you do a new student counseling session, we give you an abbreviated ed plan. An abbreviated ed plan is a short 1-semester plan where we kind of just give you the first set of classes that you can choose from to kind of get you going, right? But then let's say your first semester is in the fall. Let's say around October, November, you want to do a 1-hour appointment, okay? And you can do the 1-hour appointment right now if you wish, if you're just like, hey, I'm ready. I know what universities I want to go to. I know what major I want to do. You can set a 1-hour appointment now. And what we do during that 1-hour appointment is literally map out and plan out all the classes you need from start to finish. So for example, let's say, Michael wants to be a STEM major. He wants to be a chemical engineer, and he wants to go to UCR. So you're going to come into your 1-hour appointment and you're going to say, hey, Cynthia, I want to be, chemical engineering and I want to go to UCR. I'm going to plan out your education plan from start to finish and say, all right, Michael, here's your plan from start to finish, every single class you need for your time here at MSJC. So that's the great thing about counseling, is that we can provide you everything you need for that particular goal that you have. We don't want you taking unnecessary courses. So it's really, really important that you come see a counselor, especially for that 1-hour appointment. That way we can go ahead and look at what you want to do and give you that guidance. And then every semester after that, you want to come in and do another 1-hour appointment just to check in. If you feel you don't need the 1-hour appointment, you can do a 30-minute just follow-up check-in appointment just to kind of let us know how you're doing, Or let's say Michael decides he doesn't want to do chemical engineering at UCR anymore. The next semester he decides he wants to do psychology at Cal State San Marcos. Well, we got to make sure we do another 1-hour appointment, because you don't want to follow the ed plan I originally gave you, right? You want to go ahead and update your ed plan to the new goal that you have of psychology at San Marcos. So, it's really important and vital that you come out to see us, make your appointments, be proactive. One thing that I've noticed in my many years of counseling, especially from high school students, is that you're really not used to going to make an appointment with your counselor, right? You're used to your teachers reaching out to your counselors, and then your counselors kind of, going to your class, sending a pass for you to come see them, right? And unfortunately, in college, we don't get to do that. Unfortunately, in college, we really need you guys to be proactive and say, you know what? I'm struggling. I need help. I have a question. I'm going to go search for a counselor to get some assistance. Keep in mind, we're not assigned to you guys either. So if for some reason, you met with me the first semester and, you have a quick question and I'm not on campus, you can meet with any counselor. Ideally, I always tell students, maybe try to meet with the same 1 or 2 counselors to have that consistency, to build that relationship. Right now, we are doing a different kind of counseling method. All community colleges are in California that are called pathways. So now, based off of your major, based off of the career goal, you're placed into a pathway. So for example, if you are looking at doing a STEM pathway, science, math, engineering, I'm one of the STEM SME pathway counselors. So you would more than likely be meeting with me or any 4 of my other STEM SME pathway counselors. So that's one way of really building that connection with your particular team, because having that consistency does make a huge difference for you, for a student, instead of seeing 5 or 6 different random counselors throughout their time at the community college. So keep in mind that based off of what major you put on there, you can actually have a pathway group, a pathway team, and there's 5 counselors assigned to that particular pathway. And then, like I mentioned, we do have our 10-15-minute walk-in appointment, quick question appointments. So like I said, if you have a quick question and you want to just answer it real quick. You don't need to make an actual appointment. We have that lobby where you kind of sit in a virtual lobby, or if you were on campus here, you'd be sitting in our lobby. And one of us, whether we're assigned to the lobby or the quick question online lobby, or if we finish early with an appointment, we grab a student from there to go ahead and answer your question. So there's that. And then one thing I want to just quickly address is even though we're kind of tail ending with COVID-19, hopefully, we still have different offerings of classes. So when you guys are registering, make sure you pay attention to what type of class you're registering. And I want to make sure I emphasize that you guys are going to be college students. You can pick whatever schedule you want, right? So if you like to sleep in, do not pick a 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. class. Right? Go ahead and pick a 10 a.m. class, an 11 a.m. class. If you want an online class, take an online class. If you want an in-person class, go ahead and pick an in-person class. This is really your schedule. You have that freedom as a college student to really create the schedule that really fits your needs, especially if you're working as well. You want to make sure that you create a schedule that fits your needs, fits your working needs, as well as if you have families and whatnot. So keep in mind, we have two types of online classes. We have online real-time classes. Online real-time classes are scheduled classes, usually on Zoom, that are live. So for example, our senior day right now, right? We started at 11 and we're going to go from 11 to 12. So if this was an online real-time class, it would be listed on the schedule Thursday, 11 to 12, online real-time, which means you're live with the instructor. Then you have online anytime classes, and those are available at your own time as long as you complete the requirements or your homework within the deadlines. Usually it's like the end of the week. So keep in mind, we have two types of online classes. Okay, so pay attention to those and pay attention to the times and the days if it says online real time or online anytime. We also have some hybrid courses, which are like coming to campus once a week and then maybe doing the homework online. And then we have traditional in-person classes. So we are coming back on campus. We were back on campus this last semester. A few classes were in campus in the fall semester. You are going to know what kind of student you are. So you're going to know if you need to do an in-person class or if you're okay with doing online classes. But we are so happy that we're back on campus. So if you know for a fact that you work better in person, please take an in-person class. We're really excited to be back on campus and really excited to have students back on campus. So, that's one thing about college life, is that you really have to be honest with yourself as far as what kind of a student am I? Yes, I'd love to be doing classes from my bed on the laptop, but I also know that I'm just better off taking an in-person class. But ultimately, like I mentioned, that is a decision for you, as this is your schedule and your college life. So be mindful of that. And then here, I'm just going to quickly go over a couple of programs that are very beneficial for our first year students and just students in general. We have our first year experience program, which all of you should be first year students. And this program provides you early registration, access to specific counselors and mentors. You also have workshops throughout this particular program. It's a great program for first year students, obviously. One thing that I want you to pay attention to is called that first bullet, early registration. Basically what that means is, when you go to Disneyland and they used to have these fast passes, you get to go in front of everybody, right? You would come back at a specific time and you get to go in front of the whole line while everybody's sitting there waiting 3, 4, 5 hours for this particular ride. That's what early registration is. You get to register before a lot of people. So any program that's offering you early registration, take it, especially for those of you that are doing nursing, the DMS, which is our diagnostic medical sonography program, anybody that's doing STEM. Some of those classes, for example, anatomy, physiology, micro, math classes, those can be a little challenging to register into because everybody wants to be a nurse right now. Everybody wants to do sonography. So if you have early registration, you get to register before a lot of people. Therefore, you have a better chance of getting into those classes instead of waiting. So FYE is a great program that will provide that to you. So if you're interested, you have a QR code there that you can go ahead and scan, or you can also just visit msjc.edu /FYE, and you can go ahead and create the application, or I'm sorry, apply for the program, and they will reach out to you for next steps. Then we have a couple of other programs here. We have our Accommodation Service Center that used to be called our DSPS program. So if you had a 504 IEP in high school, you have this particular program that can help you with accommodations to make sure that you are successful at MSJC. We want to provide as many resources as possible for you as students. So you would reach out to that particular program or service, actually. Then we have Emoja. Emoja is a great community and program that is for our Black and African American brothers and sisters. They also have an Emoja Club, and it's a great program. You have specific counselors that will help you. You also have specific classes that you would take with the program, creating that family community cohort. So if you are interested, please go ahead and let Mr. Darnell Bing know at dbing@msjc.edu. And then we have EOPS, which is another great program that I'm a product of. A lot of our counselors were a product of EOPS, and that is very similar to FYE, which provides you that personal academic career and person counseling. And then they also have priority registration, which once again, any program that's giving you or offering priority registration, please take it. And then you have, they give you book grants. They also help you pay for your parking permit. They also help you pay for your transportation fee. I remember that they gave me a laptop. I think they gave me like some extra funding. They give you, like I said, the book grant. A book grant is basically a check for your books. Okay, the books are not free in college, right? So we don't get to go to the library and check out books anymore. Here you have to actually buy books. And let me tell you guys, they can get very, very, very expensive. Okay, so keep that in mind. And then we also have our 2+2 program. So our 2+2 program is those students that are interested in the business program or the engineering program at Cal State San Marcos. We created this really cool relationship with Cal State San Marcos where you would do the 2 years here for engineering or the business administration major. The classes are guaranteed seats. So it's first come, first serve for this program. So you would do 2 years here at MSJC, and then you are guaranteed to complete your program at the Cal State San Marcos Temecula campus for 2 years with guaranteed seats in your classes. So this is huge. It's a great partnership that we have. These programs get full pretty quick because it's just really popular. So if you are interested in that, you can go ahead and visit that particular website. And we have another program called the Puente program. This is actually my program. I am one of the counselors for the Puente program. And then we also have another counselor at the San Jacinto campus. So the mission of this particular program is very similar to the Emoja program. It is for our Latino students. So if you are interested in this program, once again, you have a personalized counselor, which would be me at the Menifee campus, and then Cynthia Vargas actually at the San Jacinto campus. We would take classes together. You would also be taking, you would have the same English instructor, which is great, building that community and bond once again. If you are interested, go ahead and scan that QR code, or you can obviously let me know in a few minutes, and that way I can go over with you, send you the flyer and whatnot. But once again, you get priority registration, or you get early registration for this program as well. Keep in mind, you can be in multiple programs at once. So you can be part of the FYE, you can be part of EOPS, you can be part of Puente, same thing in Moja. You can be in multiple programs at the same time. And that's the great part, is that you'll have a huge network of people supporting you in everything that you do at MSJC. So the great thing about having all these programs is really just having that extra support. Okay, because it is a huge transition from high school to college, and we want to make sure we make that as seamless as possible for you guys. So I didn't want to focus too much on the presentation, because I do kind of want to show you guys very quickly how to actually look at these things when you're on the website. Just kind of maneuver a little bit where you can find the information, but basically like your hub is going to be your best friend. So Let me just go here. So, obviously we have the website, right? So once again, this little guy up here, the Student Support Hub, this is your best friend, okay? You're gonna find everything you need here. You can find everything from enrollment services, financial aid, cashier's bookstore, but then you have all this right here as far as getting information. Keep in mind also that Puente and Emoja, we have specific counselors for this particular program. So like I said, if you're in Puente or if you're in Emoja, they also have their own appointments. But if you're a Puente student, if you're one of my students, you have open access to me as a counselor. Same thing with Emoja. If you're in Emoja, you will have open access to those particular counselors. That is a huge perk, okay? Because it can be challenging making an appointment with a counselor or making an appointment with a specific counselor. Why? Because it's just a lot of students. It's a lot of students that are trying to make appointments. So imagine having a counselor specifically open for you. I have my students that will text me, hey, Cynthia, are you available on this day? Yes, I am. Okay, let's go ahead and make an appointment. Imagine having that access to be able to message your counselor, say, hey, do you have availability here? Or just being able to walk through my door. Say, hey, Cynthia, are you busy? I have no appointments. Go ahead, come in. Let's chat. So keep in mind, these programs are great resources. I know both Emoja and Puente, we have field trips to the different college, to the different universities. We also have different programming and events that we do. We do a lot of culturally relevant events. So on behalf of my program, we have Noche de Familia. We also celebrate Latinx Heritage Month. We also just had our Raza graduation on Monday, which was a specific first-time graduation for our Latino students. They received a really cool stole and get to wear that on their graduation in a couple of weeks. Then we also had our Puente quinceañera end of the year celebration last night, where we honor the students that completed the Puente program and those that are transferring with the Puente stole, and a beautiful celebration. So these programs are such a great experience for those students that are wanting to go ahead and be part of a tight-knit community, a family. You get to travel from one semester to the other with the same people. So you create that community between each other. Like I said, you have the same counselor and the same instructor. So that also helps you build that bond. And then you're also working with whatever respective counselor at the campus. You're working with them specifically to make sure that you are going to be successful and have the transfer requirements that you need for your particular major. But once again, you come to support services, you go to counseling, you can enter our counseling lobby. This is the one that I mentioned that you can come in to do a 15-minute really quick question, or you can schedule an appointment. Schedule an appointment will take you to like, what day do you want to choose? What time? So that is really important that you guys just become one with this website. Love this website. This is going to be your website for everything. You also have academic support services here. So as you can see, FYE is here. You also have technology support as well as emergency services. So wanted to just make sure that I kind of go over this site because this really is your best friend, and if you want to come to our department's site and then click under counseling, you will also see a short overview of kind of like what I went over as far as what you need, counseling, services. You also have over here new counseling sessions. So that's what I talked about earlier. As a new student, you want to go ahead and sit for one of these sessions. As you can see, we're obviously May 12th. May 12th is full, May 17th is full, May 18th is full. So as you can see, a lot of these are already full, right? So we still have plenty of new student counseling sessions for you to go ahead and jump into. Like I said, you'll be going over your first semester courses, looking at what courses you need, how to register, kind of navigate self-service, because that could be a little daunting for a first-time student. And once again, this just kind of goes over a little bit of what I went over as far as what the counseling department can provide to you. It's really, really important that you guys know that as counseling, we are here to make sure that you guys are successful at MSJC. I know that may sound, a little cliche, but that is the truth. We are here to make sure that you guys take the classes that you need, but are also comfortable enough to come in and talk to us if you do need to talk to us. I know that I would go to my counselor's office just when I was having a stressful day, just wanted to make sure that somebody was there. So please be mindful that that's what we are here for. Not only are we academic counselors, but we're also we're human beings. And we want to make sure that you guys feel comfortable enough to come to talk to us and chat with us, because, when you finish off your time here at MSJC and many of you transfer, then you have that whole other transition that you are going to have into the university. And we just want to make sure that you are ready for that you are proactive and ready for that next phase of your educational journey. But that's really just like the gist of counseling. I really want to open it up if you guys have any questions, because that's usually what I like kind of focusing on. Feel free to unmute yourself if you guys have any specific questions for me. But yeah, let's kind of do that. Any questions? Don't be shy. I'm pretty sure if somebody has a question that the other person's thinking. Or you can put it in the chat. And keep in mind, we are here during the summer and we do work every day. The only day that we don't work in the summer is on Fridays.
We need some Jeopardy music, apparently.
Right.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. We're here all summer, guys. So if along your way, if you're going through those steps and you get stuck, you've got that virtual live chat feature at the hub. Like she said, it's your best friend. And get used to that, bookmark that, from the comfort of your own home. We can get help, but you can certainly come in. It's limited hours though, and we're still crawling out of this pandemic. So be patient with us. The fall schedule is going to show up pretty soon, and those counseling appointments get booked up. So now is the time to go ahead if you haven't and make that counseling appointment. Thank you, Michael. Yes, I'm glad it was helpful. Yeah, just need to do, and are you pretty clear on how to do that? Did you get a good visual?
What question? I didn't see it. Oh, probably sent it to you personally.
No, oh, yes, they did. I'm sorry. Okay, they said, good information, thank you. It was very helpful. So you need to hear that feedback, Cynthia. And they said, just need to make a counseling appointment. So they feel confident that they know how to do that.
And keep in mind, you guys, you can make several appointments.
Yes.
Don't feel like, oh, I can only make one. I have some students that meet with me several times throughout the semester. And I want to say, I haven't done any studies, but I want to say the students that meet with us more often than not are the ones that are more successful, because they're creating that bond and that community with the counselor. So, it's also just when you come into my office, like specifically, and I'm pretty sure every counselor is different, you guys, by the way. So it's going to sound weird to say shop around, but you want to make sure that you have a counselor that you're comfortable with, a counselor that understands your needs. So we have a plethora. We have tons of different counselors with different personalities, traits. We all have our strong MBTI codes. But keep in mind that, you want to make sure you're comfortable with the counselor, and don't feel bad if you meet with me one semester and then you meet with Danelle, one of my besties, next semester, and you're like, oh my God, I want to meet with Danelle. That's totally fine. We want to make sure that as a student, you are comfortable meeting with the counselor, because we want to make sure that we keep bringing you in, right? You want to keep making those consistent appointments, because that's what's really going to keep you on track and keep you on pace as far as being successful at MSJC. And I just think it's just nice to have someone that you can relate to, that you can be yourself with, and not feel weird coming into counseling. We're not scary, I promise. We're all fun people. So, we want to just make sure that we break that stereotype of counseling being this stuffy office that I can't go in because I'm scared and I'm nervous. We are all here ready and willing to have you guys come in and chat with us. Like I said, I have some students that come in and chat with me all the time. If our door is open and we have no students, especially my Puente students, that's why I'm saying the Puente and Moja, those particular programs really allow you to make that connection with your counselors, your respective counselors for those programs, allow you to really just, come in. I have students that see my door open and they're like, are you with the student? No, what's up? And then they come in and chit chat and, create that bond. And that's what's really made them very successful.
Oh, yeah, those are all good points. Meet with a counselor at least once a semester. I think there probably is data that shows that those that do create those bonds are successful, because you need a roadmap to success. And I think you've heard that word help about 20 times already this week, and my presentations anyway. It's just more help. So explore those connections. Mind you, if Puente is not for you, then you bow out and you move on to another program, or get involved with clubs, or just network with each other. We all share each other's cell phones. We don't all do it, but you can do that in college, and get the notes from someone if you miss class, or say, oh, hey, you got to go talk to Cynthia. She really helped me, that kind of thing. Yeah. So, I had my favorite counselor, and I was in his office all the time, and he didn't mind. So he's retired now, but that's how, because I went to school ages ago, and at MSJC, by the way, too. So I got another thing in the chat. It says, Michael's right now interested in fire science. I'm guessing he'll need some classes at the community college before he signs up for Fire Academy. Is there a counselor you'd recommend for this area of choice? We do have career ed counseling. Do you want to answer that, Cynthia?
Yeah, we do have career ed counseling that like really specialize in those particular programs. So let me go to
take advantage of the free career exploration too, guys. You don't have to commit to a major your first semester at MSJC, but you will understand exactly what classes you can take your first semester after you go to that new student counseling session. So those are key, and you can ask lots of questions, and things will be clear every semester you continue to college. You're going to be a professional college student, and all you do is check your reg date and meet with a counselor after this and do your homework. Right? Go ahead, Cynthia.
This is so true. Yes, like even so, we do have our career counseling division, and they can focus on that as well too. So a lot of the times with fire science, you can either do your academy before or after taking these general ed classes. So the good thing is, it kind of really depends on what you want to do, right? You can take a couple of gen ed classes and start taking some fire science classes. And then after that, you can go ahead and do the academy, or you can start taking some fire science classes and maybe hold off on gen ed. It really kind of depends on whatever you want to do. Let me go over here real quick. If you do go to the hub, right? And right here under account student support services, you kind of come down to academic support services, and you have career education, and you can actually make an appointment with them as well to go ahead and go over that information with you too. So the great thing is that we have different programs and different counselors in different areas. So, it's great because you can actually find counselors that, at the end of the day, as counselors, we really need to know a little bit of everything. So for example, if you were to come into a general counselor like me, and you say, hey, Cynthia, I'm interested in, in fire science, then I would have to be like, okay, well, I'm going to go over it with you. But another great resource that I'll definitely share is, if you go to the website under departments, you can actually see career education. If you click on that, you could come I hate this little blue thing. And then you can actually come and look at everything right here under career education programs. These are specific programs that are under our career education department. So if you wanted to do fire technology, you could see everything about the fire technology program, the course descriptions, the degrees that we have under fire technology, which at this point right now, we do have a fire technology certificate as well as a fire technology associate's degree. Basically, the associate's degree is the fire technology certificate plus a couple of gen ed classes. And then we also have the Fire Academy preparation, employment concentration. So if you were interested in this, you want to go ahead, and I would still do the new student counseling session. That way you can go ahead and get a general overview of what your first semester should look like. And then after that, you can set up a meeting with one of our career education counselors, and then they can go over the fire technology portion of it. Good question, Michael.
Nice. Yeah, that's great, she says, or he. I think Mom's here too. Nice. Thank you.
Any other questions that you guys have? Valeria, if you have any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat or unmute yourself. Don't be shy. that's what we're here for.
I hear all the time how well prepared students are for university because of what they did at MSJC and because of the contacts they made with our great counseling team and other programs like Puente. And point to the, I can see the regalia for Puente behind you. Yeah. And you
So
wear that at graduation, am I right?
yeah. Emotion Puente, we give our students this this sash when they graduate. So kind of just, you know, making sure that they're seen and that they're appreciated. They're both like really great programs, and I can safely tell you guys that I do have, just like Beth mentioned, we do have students, and when they transfer to the university, they're like, oh my goodness, I miss MSJC, especially because of the access they have to counselors. And you know, when you're in a university, you know, you have to think about how many more students are there. And, you know, unfortunately, there's just not enough advisors and counselors here. So that's why it's so important to make that relationship with the counselor. That way we can really not necessarily train you, but really get you into the habit of being an advocate for yourself, making sure you know what you're doing, because then when you get to university, it's going to be almost really difficult to get in contact with an advisor or a counselor, more so than it is now, right? I know that personally, I did not get to see my advisor at Cal State San Marcos until my last semester there. Imagine being there, and I went straight to the university after high school. Knowing what I know now, I wish I would have gone to community college because I would have saved a lot of money. So I made sure my siblings went the community college route. But knowing what I know now, you know, it's shocking that I even made it that far without seeing my advisor, and I had to figure it out on my own. So I think that's why my particular counseling style, I want to make sure that before you guys leave MSJC, you know exactly how to maneuver your way or try to be an advocate for yourself, to know, hey, yes, I need to see an advisor when I get to the university, but you know what? Cynthia and the counseling department at MSJC gave me the tools to at least try to get on it on my own without stressing over not seeing an advisor immediately. So it's really just trying to give you guys those tools to make sure that you can be self-reliant, because that might happen. Hopefully it doesn't, but if it does, you're going to be like, I'm good. The counseling department at MSJC, they got me. They showed me what tools I needed to be successful. So at least this point, I'm not stressing right now. I know how to do this. We're good. I'm going to take care of this. And then that way, you know, you finally get, you know, your appointment over there. But I just want to make sure that you guys are resilient and understand what to do. That way you're not going in stress. Because one thing I do notice about students, and I'm sure I did it at one point too, we give ourselves more stress than we really need to. And we are here as counselors to make sure that we take off some of that stress. So don't worry about, oh my gosh, what classes do I need to take? That's what we're here for. That is not for you to worry about. Okay. I don't want you asking your neighbors or your best friends or your siblings. Even if they went through the process, I commend them for giving you that assistance, but definitely come in and check with us, because things change all the time when it comes to universities changing their requirements. Hey, Cynthia, my best friend said that they're taking psychology 101, so I'm taking it too. You're not a psychology major, you're a business major. You don't need psychology class. So a lot of the times it's really just, trust me when I tell you, come and make the appointment with us. If you and your best friend want to be a psychology major and you both want to go to Cal State San Marcos, then yeah, you're probably taking the same exact classes. But I can tell you that has not happened. I think it's happened once in my 10 years of being a counselor, where it's like I think it was like a boyfriend and girlfriend. They're doing the same major, same school. I'm like, all right, cool. You're taking the same classes. But I cannot tell you how many times students come in and say, well, my friend's taking that class, so I thought I needed it. Or my sister told me I needed that class. And it's like, oh, you don't need that class. Or the classic one, I didn't need to see a counselor. I did it all on my own. And then I look at their classes and I'm like, you're missing a couple of classes and half of these you didn't need. So please, come see us. We are here. You know, we're excited to meet all of our new incoming students as well as our continuing students. We get very emotional when we continually meet with you guys and then you guys transfer off. It's kind of like, our babies are transferring to the next level. But we are really excited to have you guys come, and please, please, please know that, you know, the counseling department is here and open, ready, and willing to make sure you guys are successful.
Awesome. And as a reminder, you start as a junior at university. This is probably obvious, but you're done with those prerequisites, and the universities love our transfer students because you're ready. And now you have their sort of, if there's a bump in status, you're now a junior. They know you're done with all those prerequisites that you would have done there, and you can finish it off, and you are armed, if you will, with, you know, a lot of great resources. So let us know where you end up, and let us know what jobs you land. If your goal is to get to work sooner than later, mind you, we have job developers that work to get you jobs on and off campus, and internships and apprenticeships, and often our counselors know about those as well. So ask about transfer with a guarantee as well when you get into those counseling appointments, if your goal is to head out. Let me ask you guys a question. Do you know how to navigate that hub? Are you clear on how to find that? Give us a thumbs up,
A thumbs up, yeah, smiley face, something,
or unmute if you want. But you've got it. You've got this college thing. So any answers? Have you guys gone dormant? Yep.
I'm on the hub right now.
awesome.
Great. Yeah, I know Michael's household's kind of multitasking, so thank you. All right, well, that's all I have. But Cynthia, go ahead, and I'm going to hang back, you know, if somebody else logs on or if you have other questions. But clap for Cynthia. That was awesome. We have time.
Thank you. Yeah.
If you
And
have
one thing I
questions.
wanted to go back to, yeah, and it's not obvious, Beth.
Oh,
Keep in mind, no, it's not. I want to make sure I repeat it. If you do your 2 years here, you will go in as a junior at the university. You make that very clear, because I appreciate that, Beth. A lot of students think that, oh, well, when I transfer, I'm doing 4 years. No, you're doing
yes.
your freshman and sophomore year here, and then you transfer as a junior to finish off the last 2 years of your college, your bachelor's degree. And keep in mind, it's a lot cheaper, right? Make sure you guys do your FAFSA, especially those, you know, those that are graduating. Obviously, it's you guys. You guys are going to do your 22, 23 FAFSA. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and do it. There's still time. But you know, we have that MSJC promise that covers your classes. So please make sure that you do your FAFSA. Even if you think, oh, my parents make too much money. I don't know how many times I've heard that. And then they do the FAFSA and they're like, oh no, I've been paying for classes out of pocket for the last year and I do qualify. So please just make sure you do your FAFSA. You're really just losing about 30 minutes of your life at that point just to go ahead and sort it out. I know it can be a little bit daunting, but, and also just keep in mind, as first-time freshmen, please give yourself some grace as far as how this process goes for the first semester. So between now and fall, depending on when you start, give yourself that grace. It's going to be a little stressful. Just letting you guys know off the top, it's going to be stressful. You have no idea what you're doing. You're just graduating high school. It's a whole new system. You're like, what? I have to register for classes. How come my counselor's not doing it for me? Wait, I got to pick a time. This makes no sense. Give yourself some grace. Do not get stressed. If you feel that way, please come to the Welcome Center. We have mentors there that are helping you, walking you through everything. If you want to make that appointment with us, it's counseling, please do so. But once again, give yourself some grace, because it is going to be stressful. After you get your first semester under your belt, it's going to be a cakewalk after that. Trust me when I tell you this, it's going to be a lot easier the second semester.
Yeah.
The first semester is stressful. You're like, what? I did my FAFSA. Now they want this paperwork and I got to get my classes. Please understand, it's going to be a little stressful your first semester, and that is okay. That is why we're here, trying to give you as much information. Mind you, both of you are going to forget half of this stuff in a few minutes, and that's okay. That's why you want to continue coming in, do the new student counseling sessions, set that appointment up with the counselor. If that means you set one up right now at the beginning of the summer and another one late summer because you forgot half of the stuff, that is okay too.
Like that, yeah.
So just be mindful of that. Give yourself some grace, because as incoming students, we know it's a huge transition. It's very different. And we want to make sure that we let you know that it is going to be a little stressful this first semester, but do it with us. We'll walk with you in this process. And then once you guys are pros after your first semester, trust me.
Yeah. And there's a variety of ways to satisfy your transfer requirements, by the way. So stay flexible. I'll let counseling tell you that in the counseling appointment, or what I mean by that. But there's a whole list of classes that you can do. And if this one's closed or not available, that's typically all classes are taught at all 4 campuses or every semester. But I'm just saying there's a variety of ways. And that's why I think some students graduate. You might graduate with 1 or 2 or 3 associate degrees because you double dip kind of thing. So
Exactly.
that's something to look forward to as well.
Exactly.
Any other thoughts or questions? Well, this was helpful, and I hope you learned something new. If you got what you needed, you can head out, but I'm going to stick around, and unless Cynthia, you have anything else?
No, I think we're done. If anybody has any questions, I'll, gladly answer them.